I do believe the order has been given to ready up, so hopefully we should be about to start this Tier 2 race. The 12th race of the season in DTF1 Season 1 for Tier 2. 16 cars, I do believe, out on the grid today. We're missing a Ferrari, a Renault, a Racing Point, and an Alfa Romeo. In my opinion, Japan is the toughest track on the game, so it's going to be a real test of these drivers' ability. Earlier today, just gone actually, in the Tier 1 race, we saw 2 safety cars, so I would expect to see much of the same in this session. And I think we're in for a good one. And it looks sunny in Suzuka. Earlier as well, it was heavy rain on the intermediate tyres, so the Tier 2 drivers gonna get some of the sun today. Who will be the first driver out on track? Let's get some of our graphics on, full track map. Trying to be what to turn off. Spoiled for choice. A nice view of the pit lane. No graphics. I've got some graphics. I think I'll leave them on just to prompt me when necessary. We're in the broadcast view. Drivers are yet to come out. Seven viewers now, that's fantastic. Hopefully one of these cars will come out and grace us with their presence. Oh, and is that... I want to say... No, AlphaTauri. Is this Sky High or Magnificent? I'll win, I do believe it should be. And now, is that Team Williams and the Haas, perhaps of King Joffrey, also coming out on track? So a bit of a domino effect now. So it is Sky High leading the way out of the pit lane. And a Ferrari also going out. That's the Ferrari of Alex. So you've got to be so careful through the S's. It is so easy to lose the car there because of how the car changes direction. The forces acting upon the car, it's really easy to lose it. And if you hit the curbs too, they are extremely deadly. And also you can do that as well. It is easy to lose traction out of that tight chicane. So it is going to be a very, very challenging day for the drivers. At this point, if I had my co-commentator with me, unfortunately he cannot be here today, but I would usually say, oh, who is who is the race favourite? Josh, who would you expect to get on pole position? I guess I'll answer that for him right now. Durrie, we've got to look at Durrie to be a big favourite. Merc is in Tier 2 today, and VoicedBiscuit and Forza and Rage, who competed in the Tier 1 race. So you've got to look out for them. But let's go on board with Sky High for the first qualifying lap of the session. High on the power here. You've got to judge this well. He takes a bit of the curb nicely in. And now you've got to attack the S's and hang on for your life. He is on the medium compound tyre, so he will have sacrificed some grip to do that. Takes a little bit of the curb, gets away with it, and again there, swings it out wide, maybe a little too wide. Can't quite hit the apex, but he has kept it on track. And for a first lap, that's definitely what you want to do. Takes a bit of the curb, but invalidates the lap. He takes too much. Days Freak running behind him. There's a queue forming in Sector 3 as the two Mercedes and the Red Bull and the Renault look to begin their flying laps. And is that... I thought there was a crash. It doesn't look like it though. Alex also going off. He's got all sorts of bad stuff on his tyres. Let's go on board with Taco through the S's. Can he handle the immense challenge that is Suzuka? 8 viewers now. That's fantastic. Fantastic to see you all watching. I hope you're enjoying it so far. Out of the Degnas he goes. Accelerates under the bridge. And the two Mercedes, one of them has gone off. Brake late. You don't have to quite hit the apex on this corner. The corner rises on the exits. You have got to be a bit careful of that as we hit turn 12, I believe that was, and we advanced onto the spoon curve. Take some of the curb, a little wide there. We'll lose a little bit on the exit, but not terrible. And there's a Red Bull as well in Sector 1 in trouble. It's Ghost Rider sets the fastest time, only to be beaten by a 1:27 by Durrie. But Taco, what can he do here? As he heads into the final chicane. A little bit of a curb, and a little more, and away he goes. Can he get a faster lap time? It's going to be a 1:27, no, a 1:28 dead, 1 second off the leader. I do think that it's a very good first lap by Durrie as we go on board with King Trooper, who's in trouble there. And Rage on the medium compound tyre goes just behind, tucks just behind Taco Badger. I was tempted to say the Taco of Badger, but obviously that doesn't quite go. So Forza Racer, I believe, has finished a lap. King Trooper on a lap. VoicedBiscuit on a lap on the medium tyre. My voice going a bit there, funny. VoicedBiscuit on a lap. Through 130R he goes, approaches the final chicane again. He's going to take a little bit of curb, swings it back. Very nicely done by the second McLaren. He's going to go to the inside line to see if he can gain some extra time in a 1:27.5. He's 5/10 off the Williams. There's Merc behind him. He has gone third with a 1:28 dead pretty much. It is tight though there. Merc, Taco and Rage all within a 10th of each other, but we would suspect VoicedBiscuit, Rage and Japella, who's just set a lap, in 6th place. They've all decided to do their first qualifying lap on the medium compound tyre, so we would expect to see improvements for each of those drivers. I don't know, I'm not sure if he's on a lap or not, but let's go on board with the Renault of Matty Jr. 2003. Takes a big deal of a curb through the spoon, first apex of spoon, but keeps it on track. And now it's all about the power, all about the grunt of the engine. Obviously performance is equal, but it's a Renault engine nonetheless. That might put him off in the distance, the Alfa Romeo of Smug Teacher, but he's far enough ahead that shouldn't be a massive distraction. Gets on the power. How can he do here? It's a 1:28.7 by Matty Jr. Forza Racer just behind him on a 1:28.7 as well, but there is room to improve, as there always is. This is only stage 1 of the battle, and there are many stages to come. King Joffrey also on the mediums. He's been in good form recently, and a grid place penalty for Forza. We did see him on the grass earlier, so maybe something has happened. Smoke is also there, and Forza still on the grass. Let's go back to King Joffrey if we can, and through the last corner. How can he do? He's going to take the inside line as well. It's a 1:28.3, moving him up to 7th place on that leaderboard. So Forza, he did well today in the Tier 1 race, but struggling so far, and that grid place drop is really going to hurt him in a track that isn't the easiest to overtake on. Alex on a lap, the Ferrari. 10 viewers, that's fantastic to see actually. Thank you all for watching, and once again hope you're enjoying the coverage so far. Alex swinging through 130R there. On board we go. He's run out of charge though, so this is going to affect him quite badly, I believe. Unlike a few drivers earlier, he takes the normal line of 128.8. Again, it's tight throughout the field. Matty Jr., Alex, and Ghost Rider all close. So let's go on board with Durrie, who is the favourite today, I would say, in my opinion. Let's watch him through the first corners. Very nice. Uses a bit of a curb, not too much. A little bit off the apex there, but again, you don't want to, you know, don't have to be too tight. Takes a little bit of a curb there. Swings it back on this helter-skelter roller coaster ride. Through the S's we go. And you're holding on for dear life here. And the Red Bull is out of the way though, so it's not a problem there. It would have given his heart a little bit of a jump there, but he's kept it going nicely on the curbs. Through the S's, through the Degners. Takes the curbs just to widen up the entry. Takes a little bit more there. And up the hill, a slight hill, and out we go. Keeps it together very, very nicely, and it's looking like it's going to be another fantastic match from Durrie, as that's a Williams, a Days Freak out offline, off the track, having retired. Through Spoon, takes a bit of a curb again. Very, very nice, tight to the inside. That's what we love to see in this dry qualifying session. And again, it's all about the power. How low are your wings? How much speed can they grant you at this moment in time? The last corner, brilliant on the first, and even better on the second. This is going to be a fantastic lap. It's a 126.8. Narrowly faster. It did look like a brilliant lap though. Nothing hugely wrong. Very, very spotless in my opinion. Taco there on a lap. King Trooper goes up to P5, and again it's tight there. It is very tight. Third to sixth, all within a 100th of each other. As we watch the final moments of Taco Badger's lap. Through the final chicane. Is this going to be faster? It is! He's up to P3 right now. And he's behind his teammate, the McLaren's looking good. They've got P2 and P3 nailed down at the moment. Never mind, never mind, never mind. Rage has moved up to P2. That's a fantastic lap. Oh, and Ghost Rider on a lap. It's looking like he's improved by about 4/10, just under so far. Locks up, but he takes the curb relatively nicely. Does so there, not too bad either. And he's going to go to the centre of the track on this line. He's going to run out of charge. He does improve, I do believe, to 11th place. It's not a bad place to start. You'll get your free choice of tyres. King Joffrey on a lap on the soft tyres through the S's. He's a bit wide there, but can recover it slightly. He's a bit wide there as well, but again, most importantly, he's keeping it on the track. That's the important thing around Suzuka. Don't go off the damn track. Up into the tight hairpin, turn 11 of this track. Out he goes. Foot flat to the floor of this bumpy section of the track. You'd see the front wheels bouncing a little bit there. That's just how tough it is. Spoon curve hits the second apex there nicely. Mercedes will get out of the way nicely for King Joffrey. Can he make all those Lannisters back home in King's Landing proud? Let's find out. Through 130R, takes a bit of curb. That might have cost him a bit of time. Shifts down, doesn't take the curbs on this occasion. I think he lost a bit of traction out the corner. He's on the grass. It is an improvement, but he will definitely feel there's time to be had there. He's up to P5. He's only got 4 minutes left though. He might struggle to get another lap in. I think that's Forza Racer up to P3 with that lap, I do believe. Edging out his teammate of Rage. It's nice to see Mercedes and McLaren up there. The two top teams in the Constructors' Championship, of course. McLaren with 197 points at this moment in time, and the Mercedes team just behind with 188. So a 9-point gap there for those two prestigious teams to fight over. Speaking of fighting... Oh, and is that... Matty stopped on track there, I think just to let them through. Right, who is on a lap? A few of them on out laps. I think Voice might be on a lap. He's slow here unless he's... Maybe he's ran out of fuel from the looks of it. He's got the red indicator on. Let's go on board with Merc, though. I think it's more of a certainty that this is a hot lap. As he heads onto the pit straight. The Tier 1 driver, having returned recently. What can he do against Suzuka? Into the first corner. That's a fantastic view there on the TV view. Looks nice there from a distance. Very nice again, just on the white line. Takes the curbs. He might have had to counter that a little bit. 4th gear, 5th gear, now 6 out of the S's. That looks superb by the Red Bull. Through the first set of Verdegners, and out we go. Takes the curb nicely again. Does the Red Bull. Again, looks very nice and composed. Out of the corner. That's a dirty camera view. We don't really want that. Well, it's not too bad. As we switch now, he's in. Tuck it to the white line. Takes some of the curb. You don't want to take too much, and he's a little bit off the apex there, but it's not terrible. And again, foot flat to the floor. What can this Honda engine give you through 130R and in the penultimate stage of the lap? He's running out of charge as well. He's going to lose a bit of power out of the final corner. Ooh, he took a lot of the curb. I did fear for a moment it was going to be invalidated, but what can he do? He's out of charge, but he's up to P3 is the Red Bull of XXX Merc. That's a fantastic lap. Let's go on board with Taco. Out of the S's. His teammate on the side there. Tucks it to the left side of the track. Takes a little bit of a curb. Out we go. Taco currently got 37 points in the championship. He's driven well recently, and he'll be looking to cement his good form with a high qualifying finish. Out of spoon. Oh, for a moment I thought it was going to spin. I think he had to counter that oscillation from the curb, but he's kept it together. Can he improve through 130R? And he can see the Ferris wheel in the distance. It's not a steering wheel. And he knows he's close, but can he improve? He's about to find out. It might have been, but it's not an improvement in placing. As Durrie and VoicedBiscuit start to attack their final laps. Durrie slightly ahead, but it's not much. It's by less than a tenth, and it's chaos in Sector 1 from the looks of it. Durrie's ahead. Durrie slightly improved. Can VoicedBiscuit answer back Durrie 4 hundredths up? And well, Voice is down on his lap time. He's going to have to find some time. Otherwise, it's looking like this head-to-head in the final stage of qualifying will swing the way of Durrie. And he's on the grass there. I reckon he's just losing time. He's pushing maybe a little too hard. But Durrie also struggling from out of spoon. And yellow flags throughout the track. Could be a distraction. VoicedBiscuit, it looks like he's aborted the lap, and it should be a pole position for Durrie. And he might be a little bit distracted by that. I think he has also aborted the lap, possibly. He did invalidate anyways. And it was slightly slower. Also still on laps, King Joffrey and King Trooper, the two kings. What can they do here? And King Joffrey is flying. He's 6/10 up into the final chicane we go. Out we go. Can he improve? Hares on, standing up. I think it'll be an improvement. It's up to P3, King Joffrey, with an absolutely phenomenal lap. King Trooper, what can he do? He could not improve on his time. And it's close at the top, really. P4 to P8, about 2/10 separating those guys. And top three, King Joffrey with a superb lap. All of them laps. And it's tight there, about 1/10. It's going to be close. Japella, P9 on the medium, so you'd like to think he'll have a bit more pace. And he will be starting on those medium tyres. Can he take advantage of that? I think there's a good chance he could do, you know. Matty P10, Ghost Rider P11, Alex in P12, Sky High P13, Smug Teacher down in P14, and Magnificent Owen and Days Freak yet to set lap times. They're down in P15 and P16. Let me know in the chat box, in the chat room, if... Oh, and Forza will get that grid drop, of course, so he'll move down to P10. Could that be pivotal in the Constructors' Championship? But, yep, feel free to let me know your comments in the chat box throughout. I am looking at the chat box, so I'll try to interact with people a bit more than usual. Maybe let me know who your favourite is for the race. Who should we watch out for? Feel free to let me know in the chat box as we head underway. Reaching lights out in Japan, in Suzuka, of course. I mean, I think recent history will tell us that Durrie is the favourite, of course. But VoicedBiscuit, a very capable and quick driver. And King Joffrey, who I will admit I'm a little bit surprised to see up there towards the top of the qualifying time sheet. But he's put in some fantastic performances actually in the last few races. He did win in Italy. No, VoicedBiscuit won in Italy, but King Joffrey was second. He was also second in Brazil. So the momentum perhaps gaining for King Joffrey, and perhaps he can take advantage of that today. You never know what's going to happen in Suzuka. There could be spins, there could be safety cars, there could be chickens on the track, there could be anything. It's going to be a manic one, I do believe. Thanks for the comments in the chat box. Interesting interaction. Good to see so many of you taking part and watching the stream again. We've got 11 views, which I think is actually perhaps the highest we've had, possibly. Let's see if we can get any more. Oh, and I'll enable the telemetry again. So, oh, Days Freak on the hards. That's really my preferred strategy at Suzuka. Japella on the worn mediums. I think we're going to have to look out for him. I'm really interested to see if he can progress through the field on that alternate strategy. And Ghost Rider and Alex also opting for the mediums, down P11 and P12. And Smug Teacher and Electro Freeze towards the back of the field on the mediums. as well. Sky High and Owen opting for the fresh, soft compound tyres. I'm being told I've had 16 viewers before. I might have done. I can't remember honestly. And then I don't. Sometimes it's hard to tell because I don't know. I'm seeing 11th on my screen at the moment, and sometimes that's a little bit up and down, basically. So as the formation lap heads to a close, and we're about to get underway in Japan. The people on that Ferris wheel will have a better view perhaps than I will into turn 1. But as always, we'll try to keep every angle, every little bit of spiciness covered in this Grand Prix. 5 races to go. Time is running out. King Trooper leads for championship, but Durrie is high flying. He's looking at his 4th consecutive win in a row, and that's also his 4th race start in a row. So I'm not overly using. And the lights are out and away we go. It's Durrie off the line and VoicedBiscuit tucking in behind. It's going to be close into turn 1. And they're keeping it clean so far. We're going to switch back to the Red Bull of Merck. It's going to be too wide through the S's. Can they hang on? And he's tucking behind the Red Bull. And he's off. King Joffrey is off and skirting the grass there as well. And Joffrey contacts. That just looked like a 50-50 to me. Japella up to P7 and Rage running wide, and the McLaren's gonna have a go. There was contact and contact again, and he's on the grass. And Rage in P6. And Taco I did not see that, and there's a big crash behind. And it's a safety car. I'm not overly surprised as in Days hits the back of Taco. That might have been a little bit of a perilous rejoin, and it's chaos. I'm gonna guess there was a legal overtake warning there. Okay, let's catch our breath at this stage. Merck up to P3, he's gained 1 place. King Troopers gained 2. You can see all the points, the positions gained on the left side of your screen. Smug Teacher's gained 5, he's a big improver. And the big losers so far have got to be Taco Badger down 5 places and King Joffrey down 14 to the back of the field. Some of them are entering the pit lane now. They've gone for the medium. The hards could potentially last, but it would be a risk. They're sacrificing track position. All have gone onto the medium compound tyres. Hopefully, this will at least give King Joffrey and Taco Badger a way to claw their way back up the field. Japella up to P6. Splitting the 2 Mercedes. VoicedBiscuit up to P2. He'll be getting 18 points. 2 more points at the moment than the combined total of the Mercedes drivers, which in P5 and P7 would be 16 points. King Trooper in P4. He is obviously currently the leader of the Tier 2 Championship. He's competed in it since the start. He's only missed one race. That was in Hungary. Actually, it's quite interesting to look at the driver standings as I have now. King Trooper's actually not won a race yet in Tier 2. I think he might have done one of them, but then it was taken off him down to time penalties and so on. But he's not officially won a race. He's had, I think, 4 podiums. But Durrie, he's come in. His first race was in Russia, which I'm sure, as many of you know, was a spectacular race. He survived the carnage to take home his first win in DTF1, and ever since then, Durrie, he's won in Russia, he's won in Netherlands, he's won in Canada, but can he conquer Suzuka? Perhaps the toughest of them all, as I'm a bit surprised to see Rage pit. He's really going to lose out. And he's on the soft tyres. Maybe he has some kind of damage. And King Joffrey taking a gamble on the hard compound tyres. That could pay off for him, you know. But it would not surprise me at the same time if we see consecutive safety cars in this race. There's a high chance of collisions, of incidents. And I do suspect to see something else happen. So I would well, we've got to wait first for Magnificent Owen to catch up to the pack, but hopefully we shall see the safety car enter the pits and we can get underway. And I've just been informed from SayXKRH he did have red wing damage, I think, on his right end plate, so that does actually make sense for him to pit. I just wonder maybe whether the hards, like King Joffrey's opted for, might have been best, because obviously the softs are quickest, but you've got a lot of traffic to get through. You would obviously have to do that on the hard tyres anyway, but there's a little bit less pressure on it. So Owen has actually DNF'd, so we should be able to get underway in this race. Durrie leading the pack, the train of cars through 130R. Maybe they have. I've not received a notification yet of the safety car's intention, and Durrie isn't really backing up. I think we're going to see one more lap under the safety car here. Something's happening back in the field. That might be investigated. I'm not sure if I saw it right, but it looked like Ghost Rider may have overtaken Alex under the safety car as Alex decides to pit. So does Electrofreeze. Very interesting strategy from a lot of these drivers as Ferrari opt for the double stack strategy. Doesn't make a huge difference. They'll come out last anyway. Front wing change taking place there. Oh, and that looked a bit weird, let's say. Yeah, we should see another lap as Ferrari service Alex. They're a bit slow here though. Makes sense. And he's got a server penalty. So this is going to be interesting. It may not decide to restart this lap, because Alex is quite far back. But he's going to leave the pit lane now. Ferrari with some interesting strategy here. They've placed both their cars at the back of the field, but Alex is on the hard tyres. So like King Joffrey, if he can stay out of trouble, if he can just keep his race clean, he could get till the end and gain places, whereas others lose them through pit stops. But again, another safety car here is a great possibility. It would not surprise me one bit to see a safety car or AVSC deployed in the remainder of this session. 4 laps down, plenty of laps to go. Let's wait and see what happens. As I said, Durrie won last week in Canada. King Joffrey was second. Taco Badger was in P3. Taco and King Joffrey down there at the moment. They should be able to recover, let's hope. And Alex was in P4 actually in Canada, which was I think a record high finish for him this season. So he'll be looking to turn things around on the hard tyres as he hopes to rejoin the pack there. Getting close here. as Durrie controls the pack. Alex is still adrift of the field, but I imagine he should catch up by the end. And the Voice has got to be a little bit careful to give Durrie the space he requires. And away they go. Voiced may have compromised Durrie off the start slightly there, and he may have a run at him here. And I think VoicedBiscuit is. Can he out-drag the Williams? Can he do it? Down the inside! Oh! Like Durrie had to skate ride, but VoicedBiscuit did it one hell of an overtake. And Merck crouched behind the Williams of Durrie. That was a fantastic overtake by VoicedBiscuit. Through caution to the win perhaps, but sometimes you've just got to do it. You've got to stick it. And hope for the best as Ghost Rider is off in the S's. Could we see another safety car or a VSC deployed? Nothing yet from the race control. Into the hairpin, and did King Trooper hit the back of his teammate there? I'm not sure. It looked like there was potential contact though. Yellow flag still in Sector 1. Ghost Rider struggling to get going as VoicedBiscuit heads into Spoon. He's got the lead, and Forza Racer. And what's happened here to Geppetto? He's the wrong way round. Holy hell, what happened there to Geppetto? I would have loved to see that. But he's incredible. He's the wrong way round. Heading into Spoon. I presume there was contact with someone there. Had to be. And a Voice pulling away from the Williams slightly. And Ghost Rider struggling again. He's got to be a bit careful to get going. He might find himself with the leaders approaching soon enough. But VoicedBiscuit a second ahead of the McLaren. Merck isn't too far behind either, and has Durrie, I want, disconnected the red X of doom over his car. And Taco Badger and Matty going at it on the medium compound tyres. And a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting for Rage. He's really pushing on these soft tyres, and he has to in a way. He's up to P10. He's had a good start really. I think he was down a few places, obviously from P10 on the restart. What can he do? They clip the curb, and Smug Teacher in P6. He's got to be enjoying life there. And Sky High behind. And Matty getting close to the back of the McLaren of the Taco Badger. And Sky High might have a look at Smug into Spoon. Oh, and they've done it in Spoon here. Forza past. And they've gone off, and there's a Ferrari of Electrofreeze has had an incident in Sector 2 as well. It's getting tasty here. Oh, and they're going to try it as well. Great wheel-to-wheel racing. Alex is going to hope to take the position. Is anything happening ahead? I do not think so. We'll get back to them here. Don't you worry. And Days Freak has lost out, I believe, there. He might try a lunge. I think he's too far back, though, as VoicedBiscuit sets an impressive fastest lap. And King Trooper with an early pit stop. That's interesting strategy. And is that a wing change? Oh, it is. That could be why. And they're going to go too wide. They're going to risk it into turn 1. And Smug wisely backs off. He might have been able to have another go, but I think wisely just decided to back off a little bit. Taco getting close to the back of him as well. Smug's wide. Oh, and there's contact. And Rage is going to have a go. And a good overtake there. Slight contact, but it is hard to control the car, and it is narrow through the S's. And Matty on the curb of death, pretty much. I feel sorry for him because I've done that plenty of times before myself, and it's incredibly easy to do. Geppetto comes through. Matty losing traction. Has anything else changed? Sky High up to P5, Forza P4. Merck in 3rd position. Durrie in P2. Has he got any wing damage? Usually it's the other way around in these Tier 2 races. Usually it's Durrie who's out front and pulling away from VoicedBiscuit. But VoicedBiscuit pulling away in P1, which is very nice to see. As Days Freak hits the grass into Spoon, it's yet another spin in this race. There's so many, but Suzuka is an incredibly tough track for any driver, whether it's Tier 1 or Tier 2, it doesn't matter. It's so tough. Smoke Teacher trying to keep the car under control through the final chicane. And Rage is going to have a look at Sky High. He's gone to the racing line and he's ahead into turn 1. And Merc isn't too far off the back of Durrie. Could we see an overtake in the near future for the Red Bull versus the Williams? Time penalties might come into account as well throughout the race. Trapella with a 3-second time penalty there for corner cutting. Matty getting a speeding penalty, and Smoke's got to be a bit careful. Then he's off. And he's under pressure from Joffrey now, and he's ran out wide as well. Shame to see, he was running quite well as well. Alex up to P8 and Joffrey up to P9 on the hard compound tyres. So Alex 17 seconds behind the leader. I think VoicedBiscuit is still looking good at the moment for the race win and the next lead of the race. But it'll be interesting to see how high Alex and Joffrey can go on this alternate strategy on the hard tyres. Yellow flags in sector 3. It's a slow Haas of Ghost Rider. He must have ran wide out of the S's, and he is a lap down, unfortunately. Could also be why he's a bit slower. And Taco Badger is going to size up Sky High. He goes for the racing line, which I've seen happen a lot. It happened to me. I'm in the Tier 1 race. People favouring the racing line on the overtake. Sky a little bit wide there. Taco taking the place. 3-second penalty there for Taco Badger for corner cutting. So it is, again, it's a very interesting race, really. I am a bit surprised that VoicedBiscuit is pulling away from the Williams of Durrie, considering Durrie's impressive dominating form in the last 3 races. XXX Merc not far behind, close to DRS, but maybe not quite close enough. Forza Racer looking good in P4. He was impressive in the Tier 1 race. Can he carry his form over? Rage has managed, actually, fair play to him, to come through the field. He's up in P5. He's got fresher softs by 3 laps. Can he take advantage of those tyres and close the gap to his teammate in P4? Rage, 72 points in the championship. I do believe, some quick maths, that's 57 points behind the championship leader, King Trooper. King Trooper down in P14 now, having pitted to mend the front wing and head onto the hard tyres. Hopefully we'll see King Trooper come back, the championship leader, defend his championship lead. Yeah, Merc, again, taking advantage of DRS on the pit straight. He's about 5 tenths up. And King Joffrey here, close to Alex. He's going to have a look, but he's not close enough to try anything there. Oh, and yellow flags. Yellow flags. Is that Sky High? I do believe it is. Alex getting past. And that's going to allow Alex to pull away from King Joffrey, also on the hard tyres. Fastest lap on the left side of the board there. VoicedBiscuit, very good. Fastest lap. He's quite a bit ahead on the raw pace. But that is not the deciding factor, of course. It's whoever crosses the line first. You only get 1 point, and 1 point only for that fastest lap, as a one run wide through Spoon. Japella joining in the fun. Oh, and Durrie, he's boxed. Has Merc? Yes, Merc has. Forza Racer has decided to stay out. As, oh, it's going to get busy. 130R, we're through it. But what will happen into the chicane? Japella takes the place from King Joffrey, of course. And he's going to have a look at Sky High on the pit straight. What way will he go? He goes again to the racing line. That's interesting. And they've got to be careful. And they are. And they're tight. They're so very tight. I hope they can get through this. Oh, and it's tight there. Japella just loses out. That looked like brilliant wheel-to-wheel racing there. Most likely it was contact, but they did brilliantly. And he's going to have another go. He's going to risk getting to the first Egner. Oh, and Sky has lost it. I think, again, that's a difficult one. It's risky racing. And, yeah. Hard to say with that one. It's not a usual overtaking spot, I would say that. VoicedBiscuit, that lead is up to 5.5 seconds, but Durrie has pitted. And he might... I don't think he'll lose too much time here on the back of Joffrey. He might be able to overtake him on the pit straight as the race leader, VoicedBiscuit, pits for fresh tyres. Will Forza do the same he does? Will Rage stay out? I imagine he will, and he does. Yeah, Durrie will have the advantage of DRS. So Rage, I'm interested to see how he... Oh, and that's interesting. The medium compound tyres for VoicedBiscuit and Forza Racer. Durrie on the hard tyres. McLaren perhaps thinking, oh, we'll pit a lap later and see what the difference in tyres will be. That's very interesting. As VoicedBiscuit is behind Alex, so will he lose a bit of time? If Rage can pump in some fast laps on the softs, he's got a good chance of coming back in this race in the later stages, because I will be interested to see how the medium tyres go for VoicedBiscuit. I'm not convinced. I think they'll be okay, but how bad will they get by the end of the race? Durrie is 1.2 behind, and VoicedBiscuit really losing time here behind Alex. He's got to try to overtake as soon as possible if he can. He's going to go to the outside. Alex staying on the line and oh, it's contact. Be careful. And Durrie will be licking his lips at this. I think Voice should get him here. I think he should overtake him here. And he does. But how much time did that cost him? But then again, Durrie will have to go through the same intense competition that Alex provided Voiced, I'm pretty sure. Oh, be careful, that was close. Out of the final chicane we go. Alex will get the DRS advantage, of course. King Joffrey, I'm a bit surprised to see him pit. Maybe he has wing damage or just wants to be on a fresher, faster compound of tyres. Yeah, oh, is that... I'm not changing the wing, it's the medium compound tyres going on for King Joffrey. Smug Teacher moves up to P9 because of that pit stop. Japella P10, King Trooper P11. Might he still get some points from this race? Oh, Japella nearly loses it there. Did well to save that one. Durrie is not as close to Alex as I thought he might have been either. He should be within a second now, but I was expecting him to really be rampaging all over the back of that Ferrari. But if he's timed it right, which maybe he has, he will get DRS, and Alex hitting the grass. That's going to cost him straight line speed. Durrie might fancy it here as Rage dives into the pits. Is he going to go? Oh, he is! What a fantastic overtake by Durrie from a bit of a way back. But he stopped the car in time brilliantly, and that was a fantastic overtake. As Taco pits. 5 seconds to serve, I do believe. So Alex up to P3. He could have a chance of a podium if he keeps it together. Oh, and Merc and Forza going at it. And there is contact. Rage is going to have to watch out if he's still there and is not quite a safety car yet. Rage will overtake the bogged down Red Bull of Merck. I'd have to review that one, but I think Merck, I think he was the car on the inside. He obviously, I think, took some of the grass, and that made it hard to control the car and caused the spin to happen. But Forza Racer, watch out for him. He's on the mediums. He might fancy a podium, which in the Tier 1 race, he was right on my gearbox after the second safety car restart, and he was close to getting a podium in that race. Can he get one in the Tier 2 today? Durrie 1.8 behind, and it's... no, never mind. The time board glitched for a moment. He did not make a mistake. He's still 1.8 behind VoicedBiscuit, and that's interesting. Voiced maybe struggling a bit more on the medium compound tyres, and that could be quite disastrous if it is the case. And now Forza, is he going to do what Durrie did? It's too far back. Oh, he should have a better exit though. He should have a better exit. And it looks like this is going to be... and Alex going to push him to the inside. He's well entitled to do that, but Forza Racing, too much straight line speed. Oh, and I was a bit nervous there for a moment. Don't want anyone to crash. Fantastic racing so far. Time penalty for King Joffrey. He's down in P11 on the mediums. If he can get going on the mediums, he can salvage something from this race. King Trooper and Taco are close. King Trooper has got the red X of death over his car. He may be disconnected. Oh, and Durrie only 1.5 behind the race leader, VoicedBiscuit. He's struggling to turn those medium tyres on. The hard tyres, maybe they're the better race tyre. And I honestly will say I fought the hard tyres when I ran them in the Tier 1 race. I did run them at the start of the race, but I very much liked the feel of the hard tyres. And Durrie, maybe he's loving those hard tyres right now. I'm sure he will be. He was struggling in the first stint to have any effect on the McLaren's lead. Now he's flying. Sky high off in Sector 1. As we watch the race leader, and Durrie 1.2 behind. About 11 laps to go. Rage, fastest lap of the race. He's flying, and he's soon going to be looking at the back of Alex. Durrie really performing well on these hard tyres. VoicedBiscuit struggling to respond to him on these mediums. Spectacular. Oh, and Jesus Christ. I think he was okay there, but you know, you need to be a bit careful if you move and there's cars approaching, because if you're a fast car approaching and a slow car moves back onto the track, you don't necessarily know what they're going to do. You don't know if they stopped or not. He did in that case stop. But it was a dicey one. Yellow flags again. Days Freak up to P7, running well, but there's mediums. You imagine he will have to pit again. But if he can go into the softs, could get an advantage here. But Durrie is going to perhaps look at an overtake opportunity on the pit straight. VoicedBiscuit, 40% energy left, but Durrie will have the additional advantage of the DRS. He's 6/10 off though here. He decides not to use overtake this lap. Voiced, I think, using some up as Japella moves up to P7 into 130. Oh, good job there, boys, from the look of it. As the disconnected, I believe, King Trooper P9 now. And Rage has overtaken Alex, and Rage looks like he's got some pace if he can unleash it. He's 2.1 seconds behind his teammate Forza Racing. Might we see some team orders come into play? And a 3-second time penalty for Durrie. Let's check the time penalties right now and see if that makes a difference. Usually we don't. It's a rare sight to see Durrie get time penalties. I don't think he usually accumulates them. Oh, and VoicedBiscuit, he's not got any so far. So at the moment, it's advantage VoicedBiscuit again. It's swinging back and forth like a pendulum, or rather like a car, through the S's. And Rage, 1.5 really behind his teammate here. I think Mercedes might be wise to allow Rage to take the position. And maybe if he can't overtake Durrie, switch it back around. That's entirely their call as Merc sizes up the Ferrari. And he's got that nicely done before 130R on those fresher hard tyres. But Alex doing well on those hard tyres. He's got Japella about 12 seconds behind. If he can just keep it going, Alex, he could be looking for a very fine points finish. Oh, never mind. He's pitted. Again, though, that's not necessarily a bad call, but he will come out P11, I do believe. But if he's on the softs, he can have a go at cars ahead, but he will have to do some overtaking. So we'll see how that goes. As overtake by Taco's Days Freak Pits. And I think King Trip is still disconnected as far as I'm aware. King Joffrey close to King Trooper as well. So Alex, he's got the free air. He's on the soft tyres. He could perhaps get a fastest lap as well. Get an additional point. But he will hope to climb up to P6, I imagine, again. Durrie only 5/10 behind Voiced still. And it's closer. Taco runs wide. Let's cut to the leaders because I think Durrie could be sizing something up. He's got the overtake engaged, which is an interesting time to do it. He's close now. Is he going to go for the lunge again? He did it earlier. Not quite. I think you'd be a little bit cheeky to do that on the race leader. But Durrie, he's going to go for it now. He's got overtake on. So has Voiced. Oh, he's going to defend. He's going to take the inside line. Oh, this could end in tragedy. It doesn't. Great race in there. VoicedBiscuit stays ahead on this occasion. What's happening down in 130R? King Joffrey sizing it up. Not quite. He's going to look for it outside. Out of the corner. And he's going to take to the inside. Can King Trooper defend? The two kings going at it. It's a real clash of kings right here. It's another Game of Thrones reference for anyone watching. There's a fantastic overtake there by Joffrey. He's up to P8. And we'll be looking at Taco Badger, the McLaren driver. Can Alex gain on those in front and reclaim places? We'll see. And Taco struggling a little bit. Oh, and Joffrey could have a go here. Oh, he backs out. I think that's fair enough. I think if you try to go too wide for here, as we saw earlier in the case of Sky High and Japella, I believe, but I might be wrong. Excuse me if I am. It's going to end badly, I think, on the percentages game. So smart there by King Joffrey. He's on the better tyres. He'll fancy him. He's got more energy saved up. You would fancy him. And Durrie now 3/10 behind. He's going to have another go perhaps. Although he's not got the energy to deploy this lap. And VoicedBiscuit, I think, will have him covered. Durrie goes back to the racing line. Voiced on the inside. Might lose him a little bit of time there. But as long as he's ahead, it's all good. Yes, and I didn't notice it actually. But Rage is ahead of his teammate. Maybe they did swap things around in the Mercedes camp. Toto Wolff getting on the blowhorn and giving Rage preference. But I think it looks like Rage has the pace. There's only about 8-7 laps left of this Grand Prix. But if these two start fighting in particular, Rage could be in with a shot of catching them late on in the Grand Prix. Let's hope he does. To spice it up, Merc in P5. Can he catch Forza? And King Joffrey's off. He is off again, unfortunately, and he's got to be a bit careful rejoining. He is, and Alex will move up to P9. That's unfortunate for King Joffrey. I was just about to say, had he got past Taco Badger, but of course, unfortunately, he has gone off track. But he can still get a championship point. So not all is lost. Keep going. And you never know, other drivers might spin as well. Rage about 5 seconds behind Durrie here. And Durrie looked like he backed off a little bit through the chicane, which is interesting. It half makes me think there may have been contact, but I'm sure there wasn't. He's too far back on this occasion. And Rage with the fastest lap of the race. He's looking to apply pressure. How fast were Voiced and Rage and Durrie on the last lap? VoicedBiscuit a 1:31.6. Durrie a 1:31.8. But Rage a 1:30.1. Rage at the moment 1.5 quicker than the two in front. If he can keep up this pace, we could be looking at a striking distance of about 3 laps. Yellow flags, and who is it? It's Merck. The wrong way round. He's got the space to rejoin, but Japella will be perhaps glancing at his track map and licking his lips with sinister joy. Merck's tyres will be hot. He's still ahead for now. And someone else has lost it. It's King Joffrey. It's a DNF. Could we see a late safety car or VSC deployed? I've not seen anything from race control from Michael Massey up in the box. And King Trooper not yet back. I believe it's so his disconnected car. And Durrie so close to the back of Voiced through 130R. An interesting place to try to make a move. It's risky, and maybe he knows, maybe he can sense that Rage, the shark, smelling blood, is approaching these two dolphins out front. It is a massive surprise, I think, as well. Voiced has really struggled in these mediums. He was absolutely flying on the soft compound tyre at the start of the race in the first stint. Maybe Durrie was concerned a little bit or something, I don't know. But Durrie was falling back. But now it's the complete opposite. Durrie, the Williams, all over the back of the McLaren. And he's close again. He's close enough. Maybe he's going to think about it. He goes to the inside and down the inside we go. They're close. And he's on the inside now, and Durrie might have the position. VoicedBiscuit will try to fight it. There's contact. Oh, they're off. They're both off, and Rage is going to steam through for P1. Incredible. Oh, and Forza, he's going to join in now. Mercedes could get a 1-2 from absolutely nowhere. And does VoicedBiscuit have wing damage? We do not know. He might be okay. But how bad are those tyres? They were pushing each other, and they were pushing, and they were superbly too wide through the tight hairpin. But on the turn 11, I believe, it tightens up there. It's all bumpy, it's all nasty, and it's so difficult to keep it side by side. And Forza Racer down the outside, and Forza Racer P2 and Mercedes, they've got a 1-2 from out of nowhere. VoicedBiscuit and Durrie tripping over each other. Incredible scenes in Japan in Tier 2 DTF1. And excuse me, my voice might sound a little bit different because it's feeling quite tight now from incredible racing. Action-packed. And I imagine VoicedBiscuit and Durrie will be livid with the opposite driver for what has happened. VoicedBiscuit looking at his first win in Tier 2 DTF1, and VoicedBiscuit slow out the corner. Those hot tyres. Oh, and it's going to get again, and onto the grass goes Durrie. VoicedBiscuit maybe pushing him a little bit more than he would have done earlier because of what has happened. And if Merck wasn't so far behind, he could have really got in on the fun. But now they're just scrapping over the final podium place. And Durrie is going to look at it on the outside. 130R Voice covered him off. He's going to look at it on the outside into the Casino triangle. Oh, and there's contact. and Voice not letting him through. It's getting heated, I do believe, under those helmets. Forza Racer only 3.5 behind. Oh, and what's this? Matty Jewett the wrong way. Out of the hairpin. I'm going to presume he lost traction, perhaps, out of that corner, and that caused a spin. Incredible. Incredible race here in Suzuka, Japan. Not disappointing. The toughest track on the calendar, in the DTF1 calendar, definitely in my opinion, for these drivers to face. And Mercedes are 1-2 for Mercedes. This is spectacular. Oh, and yellow flags in Durrie later on the brakes. And this is really going to help Mercedes in the constructors. They'll be looking at constructors. And never mind, Durrie on the outside. VoicedBiscuit. Oh, it wasn't terrible, but Durrie running out of road. I think we could see a number of these clashes being taken to the steward's office. But it is McLaren P3 and P7. It's not necessarily a terrible result that for McLaren, but if you consider what has happened, and now, well, Mercedes are in 1-2. And, oh, getting tight again. Fastest lap is Ghost Rider, though. Rage won't get that. But Mercedes, 43. That's right, 43 Constructors' Championship points. And McLaren, P3, that's 15. Taco, currently in P7. That's 6. That's 21. So Mercedes will get a 22 points advantage. And that will move them ahead of McLaren in the Tier 2 Constructors standings, and Mercedes fighting for the Constructors in Tier 1 and Tier 2. And this Mercedes team, just like in real life, are looking quite brilliant. And Durrie, oh, he could have gone too wide there. He could have risked it, but I don't think he fancied it based on what's come before. And Merck, he's only 5 seconds behind, and Durrie's going to go on the outside. Oh, that was tight. And on the exit now, I don't want to jinx anything or curse it, but I think this could easily end in another incident. He's all over the back of him, Durrie, and he's going to go around the outside on Spoon. That was a bit optimistic, I do think. And Merck, he's just closing so much now. He's 4 seconds. And if he can arrive on the scene at the right time, he could be looking at it on the last lap. I would look at their lap times, but we're going to miss the action, aren't we? And Durrie, is he going to do it down the outside? VoicedBiscuit saw it coming, and they're both compromised. And Durrie not given much space there, to be honest. And out of the corner we go. And Merck, he's only 2.7 behind. He's gaining so much. The McLaren and the Williams fighting tooth and nail. Like Max Verstappen, well, versus himself on steroids, perhaps. Fighting for every single inch of this bumpy, difficult, extreme, near and impossible Suzuka track. And Merck, 1.7 behind. He's gaining like it's nobody's business. 2 laps to go. Oh, Durrie, I think he's going to go again. Is he? Around the outside. Oh, I think he needs to leave him room there, to be honest. I think he needed to leave room. I think Durrie was alongside. I think it's getting a little bit nasty, perhaps, now. I don't want to, you know, get anyone in trouble, but that's just my point of view. I think he's entitled to more space there, Durrie. Regardless of whatever's happened before. I mean, I think the actual incident was a bit two-way. I'd have to see it back, of course, but yeah, it's difficult to say. And Durrie down! And that looked naughty. Did he move under braking? No idea. I think Voice has to be a bit careful, really. I think this is a bit bordering on extreme, really. I don't want to say anything. but from my perspective, it looked like he did perhaps move under braking, but I can't say for sure because there's no. I wasn't on board with Voiced, but yeah. My opinion, and again, I don't want to cause any arguments or etc. Let me know in the comments in the chat box if you agree. If Voiced is being a bit reckless or not. I'd be interested to see what you think as well. But Merc up to P3, and Japello's going to join in now. Durrie will be fuming, I'm pretty sure. Again taken to the outside. Yeah, I mean, that was fine by Voice because Durrie wasn't alongside on the exit. And now Japello, he might have a look into Spoon. I think if we had post-race interviews, I think it would be pretty heated, the words Durrie and Voice might say. Because it's going to be a last lap dive from someone as Rage wins in Suzuka. Voice is further back. Time penalties might play into play, but I don't think they're going to care. And Durrie around the outside. Contact. Japello on the outside. He's taken Durrie. A Voice should be just a little bit too far ahead. And where will they finish? As they did finish. Durrie had time penalties anyway. And I'm going to expect to see some words probably exchanged in the chat. I have seen a few people sort of say dirty racing by both. I think it's hard to say. I think from my perspective it looked like Voice was defending very aggressively at times and not really giving Durrie any space at all. Again, I can't even really remember the incident now, with all the fighting that followed, but I think VoicedBiscuit, I think he also, you know, he was fourth in the end, so I guess he didn't necessarily lose out, but all that fighting, it's given McLaren's rivals, Mercedes, a 1-2 finish, and they will go ahead in the constructors, no doubt about it. So McLaren struggling in this race in the end. Mercedes taking advantage. To be fair to Rage and Forza, they did superbly to move through the field. And Rage, I think at one point, he pitted onto the softs under the first safety car, and that actually paid off for him in the end. And he did have to overtake people, so fair play to Rage. He might have done the most overtakes this race. So I think a deserved winner there at the top step of the podium. And then Forza, his teammates, and Merc completing the podium there, of course. It will also help King Trooper, because Durrie will only get an 8-point swing in the championship. Well, he'll get 8 points. King Trooper was in P6. Durrie down to P4. So that's actually extremely pivotal for the championship. So King Trooper will, at the moment, gain 4 points on second place Durrie, and that's quite a twist. We've got four more races. I might be 4 or 5. We've got a week's break, I think, after this, then Singapore. Then, I might be wrong, but Bahrain, then Sakhir, that will be Bahrain short, and then Abu Dhabi. So I think it is only 4 races to go. And at this stage, Durrie has been halted, and King Trooper will hold on to an improved championship league. 5 DNFs in the end. Ghost Rider, fair play to him, he kept on going. P12, Days Freak P10, Alex P9, so a lot of drivers getting valuable points. Feel free to let me know in the chat box who is your driver of the day. I think for me, I'd probably have to say CXK Rage, for how he came through the field, especially after pitting so early. But if you have any other nominations or whatnot, feel free to drop their names in the chat box. But yep, I guess that is the end of coverage for Tier 2 Japan Suzuka. What a hell of a race it was. Action throughout. And if you're watching on replay as well, thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. And we'll be back, I hope, in 2 weeks. Mr. Martin Brundle, brackets Josh, will also be joining me, I do believe, for Singapore Tier 2 coverage in 2 weeks' time. Feel free to tune in for that. I hope to see you there. And as ever, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. It was a superb race, and I hope to see you all soon.